Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Follow that prompter in your lower right-hand corner. If you're new, hit that notification bell. Make sure it dingles for all. Okay, so let me start by saying this. Okay, let's look at this. All right, the S&P average annual return over the last 20 years as of 2024 is approximately 10.39%. And then if you go like 10 years, it jumps up to like 14 point something, I believe, without looking at it. But let's just go 10 years because, 20 years, because that's a good snapshot over the last 20 years, okay? And so it averages around 10% annually over a longer period of time. You're going to have some years that is down, some years that is flat, some years that is up by 20%, some years that is down by 15%, some years that is flat. Average 20%. Sorry, good people, had some breakfast. So now, what I did was, I had this young lady right here, right? And I went to this calculator, and that's the investment calculator. And we're going to cover this again. I already plugged some numbers in there. So now, what I want to first tell you is that we need to educate our children right now on generational wealth. That's number one, okay? Number two is you can open up a custodial account for your child right now if they have breath and if they have a social security number. If they were just born yesterday, you can open up a Roth IRA. That's ROTHIRA. And that is where most of you that's listening to me should be having some of your first investments. If you're under 50, you can put $7,000 a year annually into a Roth IRA. Why a Roth IRA, Larry? Because if you got to hold the money in there a minimum of 5 years, and you can't withdraw it until after 59 and a half, right? Then you could be building up a pile of cash, tax-free when you pull it out. The biggest threat to your money, good people, when you get ready to retire is taxes. So you should absolutely max out your Roth IRA first. And for those of you that make too much money, I believe it's over $150,000. Let me check that. I'll check that because I don't want to misquote it. But for those of you that make too much, for a Roth IRA, you can do what's called a backdoor Roth IRA, which is simply opening up a traditional Roth IRA, putting money into it, and then converting that over to a Roth IRA. So put money into a traditional IRA and then converting that from the traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. It is totally legal, and they call it a backdoor Roth. You know who do it? Wealthy people do it. And now you're going to be doing it. Now, I want you to, everything I'm telling you, I want you to check with a certified financial advisor or a money manager. And I want you to go see it first, Google it for yourself, and then call someone that is licensed to help you go through this. You can call Fidelity. That's why I talk about Fidelity all of the time, and they will talk to you right over the phone. They have experts. All of these, Schwab, you name it, they all have it. All right, let's keep it going. So now, if you have your child and they are what? Let's say your child is, let's go to the calculator. Let's say you want to retire at 60, all right? Because you just want to retire at 60, right? Minus, let's say the age is 21. So we're going to start our kids out on 21. Then that's 39 years, correct? 39 years. You guys see that, right? So now let's go here. We're going to start with $1,000 after 39 years with a return rate of 10%, okay? Compounded annually and putting in $6,000 annually. Why? Because the annual salary is around $60,000. You got 63 here with a number that is 59. So we're just going to say around $60,000. Now, why did you go to 6,000? Because I want you to train your kids now to invest, not put money in a bank, but invest a minimum of 10% of their earned income. So, soon as you get paid, before you pay one bill that's on an envelope or email on your table, pay yourself first. Putting your money in the bank is not paying yourself. Putting your money to work is paying you. If your money's not working for you, you will work for your money for the rest of your life. So you're going to pay yourself first. And that is 10% of what you make. And I will tell you to start from your gross, not your net. Start from your gross, good people. And that's how you build wealth. Okay. So let's go back here. So now that we're going to open up a Roth and let's say we're going to start with 1,000. All right. And we're going to put $6,000 in there. All right. And so this is what we're going to do. And now what happens is it's already calculated. After 39 years, right, you have $2.4 million. $2.4 million. All right. Now, do the math, good people. Do the math. This is really, really doable. It's really, really doable. So if you take $6,000, let me put that in there, right? And divide that by 12, right? That's $500 a month. That's all it is. It's $500 a month, okay? Oh, let's go back to it. 5 divided by 30 equals $16.66. $16 a day. Now, let's just say $500 a month. If you train yourself to do that first, it will be just like any other bill. And it's funny, we always do what we want to do, but most of us don't do what we need to do. And literally, when you start to increase and pay, then this will go up. Now, here's one of the things I want to show you, good people. The average 401k balance retirees age of 65 and older is around $272,000. Now, if your job doesn't have a retirement plan other than a 401k, they don't have a pension, and which a lot of jobs don't offer a pension, and you've been in a 401k, here's your average right there. However, the median balance for this age group is significantly lower at 88. This means that half of retirees in this age bracket have less than 88K in their 401k accounts. We're doing this wrong. So here's what I'm saying. You've been investing in a 401k. You're now 65 and you have a whopping $272, right? When you can beat that yourself just by depositing $500 a month into something like an S&P 500. And then look at this, 2.4 million. But here's the kicker, good people. This is the beauty of compounding interest. You only contributed $234,000 over 39 years, right? Okay? So we're going to put this in before we turn 21, right? And then this is what you're going to put over into it. And then when they turn 21, this is what we're going to start them to doing. But look at the total interest, good people. That's how much interest you've made. You've put in 234,000, but you made 2.2 million in interest. That's why Einstein said that is the eighth wonder of the world, meaning compounded interest. Okay. And so this is what I want to tell you. Now, like I told this young lady right here, I'm going to show you something else. As a matter of fact, let's answer her question first. Listen to this. Something to tell you on the back end of this, and for you guys too. All right. So what questions do you have?
So when it comes to,
I want you to speak up right in that mic, because the people, and I want you to look them dead in their eyes. This is family. They love you. Look them dead in their eyes and ask the question.
so when it comes to actually being able to access and get to the money, how does that work? How does that whole process go?
Okay. That's a great question. So what I told her is that wealthy people don't think that way. You and I think that way. Well, what if I need that money? What if I need that money? You can always borrow against it. You don't want to take out all of it, and you don't want to take out the gains, okay? But you can always borrow against it. But you shouldn't even be thinking like that. You should be thinking, how long can I keep that in there? Then you should be thinking, instead of putting the $6,000 in there, I should be putting $7,000 in there. Because here's what happens, good people. If you just take that 6,000 and turn that into 7,000, and then you hit calculate, now you have another $400,000, right? Over the same period of time. You've put in 273,000, and now it's 2.5 thousand they've paid you in interest. And then the kicker that I had for her at the end is, train your kids, train your sons and daughters, that if they are dating someone and they don't understand these principles, then they need to turn and run. That's what we need to train our kids. Because what happens is now this 7,000 turns into 14,000 for the whole household. And now when we retire as a couple, we got $5,661,000. That's what wealthy people think about, good people. That's what wealthy people think about. And then I have something else for you guys that a lot of you guys don't know. Number one, if you have a business and you have an LLC and that LLC is making over 47,000, you need to convert it over to a corporation. And if it's just you, make it an S corp. Okay. All right. So you got an S corp and you got a C corp. Okay. So just make it a corporation. And you can really, in most cases, fill out one form and convert that LLC over into a corporation and pay way less in taxes. Way less in taxes. And you're literally giving thousands of dollars away to the government. Now, here's another thing I want you guys to know. You could pay your children, I don't care if they're 7, if they can sweep the floor of your business, rather than paying all of these employees, put some money back in your house and pay your kids. They get off of school. You don't want to be working your kids late. They got homework, but have them do something for the business. And look at this, good people. You can pay them. Look at this. A child's earnings are also likely to qualify for favorable tax. Look at this treatment. As a small business owner, you can pay each child you hire up to now $15,000 in 2025. You see that? And so your business gets to write that $15,000 off, but you've just given it to your child. Now, here's what you could do if your child is 7, right? Here's what you can do if you really want to help your child. Let's go back to the calculator, because this is stuff that we really need to know. Okay, so now let's say that it won't turn for me. Okay, that's all right. So let's just say I'm gonna go to this calculator, right? So let's say you want to put $6,000 a year in for your child. You know what? Let's just keep it real. Let's keep it real. Let's just say out of that $15,000 you pay your child, you wanted to put $6,000 away, right? In a Roth, okay? For those of you that have businesses, this is your child. This money is being turned back in. And let's say they're 7, and then they work for another 7 is 4. Well, 7. Let's say they work for 5 years. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's say 7 years, 14. All right. So let's just say they work for you for 7 years, right? As your child. They ain't going nowhere. That's your child, all right? And let's start that with 0, okay? And remember, rate of return, we're going to keep that at 10, right? And we're going to hit, boom. Look at that. No, that's not right. That's not right. Let's do that again, good people, because that ain't right. I just said 14. Look at that. There we go. I said 7 years. Okay, 7 and 7. So let's say they start at 7. I was like, woo. All right. I'm not editing that out. All right. So now, after 7 years of paying your child 6,000, and they're putting the other in, and they can, do whatever they want to with the other 15,000 a year. So we're just going to put 6,000 of the 15,000 that your business gets to write off. Then by the age 7, by the age of 14, they already have $56,000 in their account. And this is what wealthy people do, good people, and that we need to take advantage of. And for those of you that have vehicles, okay, for those of you that are doing a lot of running, right, and in your vehicle, and it's for your job, I want you to know this, because the amounts do change, okay? I want you to know that in 2025, they've upped it back again. I don't want to ask you nothing, lady. Please, thank you. You can write up. Number one, the vehicle has to weigh over 6,000 pounds. And there's a lot of SUVs, right? That's why a lot of business owners drive Range Rovers. And there's some of the Teslas models that they actually put extra weight in so it could weigh 6,000 pounds. So a lot of times when you see people in Range Rovers, they're business owners. Why? Because their businesses wrote the car off. And so now look at this. SUV vehicles, blah, 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 purchases, tax, 100% write-off. You could deduct up to 100% of the price of the new Ford vehicle. Now, they're just telling you Ford, but any vehicle that weighs over 6,000 pounds. Now, here's another thing. Yeah, but my business doesn't have credit. If that business is 2 years old and you have personal good credit, you could be the co-signature for your business. That's what I did. That's what I did to even establish credit for my business. So that's what I did years ago. And you can do it too. All right, good people. So these are some principles and practices that you can absolutely. Now, let's say you don't have any kids. Matter of fact, not only can you do it for your kids, you can do it for your grandkids, you can do it for your neighbor's kids, you can do it for the kids at work, you can do it for anyone. If you don't have kids, you could start a Roth IRA and start putting money in a kid's account. That's one of the things you know. But just know that that money belongs to that Social Security number, okay? So we got to keep it on the up and up. And then for the car, that car needs to be used for business, okay? This is not for you to just buy a whip and drive around. It has to be used for business, okay, good people? We gotta keep things on the up and up. Remember, I want you to talk to a licensed professional about anything that I'm telling you, but I'm telling you the way I live. Just everything in here is what I'm doing. I'm doing everything in here, okay? I'm doing everything in here except my kids, because they ain't 7 and they ain't, But anyway, I got something else for them. So they well taken care of. Trust me on that. So that's what I wanted to share with you, that I shared with the young lady, but some of the numbers were off. Okay. And then look, people, I was looking some years ago, me and a friend bought some Berkshire Hathaway. Okay. And you look at some of these stock and you go, who would pay that amount for that stock? And I was just talking to him, and they've had all of these mergers and reverse splits and all of this. But a few years ago, a couple of us went together on a share of Berkshire, a share, one. But look at this, good people. Look at that, Berkshire, that's $784,000. But look over the last 10 years, good people. That is 268%. But look at the money you would have made on that puppy. Look at that. You could have bought that in April 12, 2015 at $212. But look at the money. And look at the money. Look at how much you would have made off that Berkshire Hathaway. And so, man, sometimes you got to stick with it. And that's what my lesson is with that. I sold it, and I shouldn't have. The lesson is There's some stock that you gotta hold for a generation if you want to create generational wealth, okay? And that's what I want to show you. So now that the market is down, if you don't have a Roth, I need you to call. Look who your broker is. I think Robinhood has a Roth now. I know all of the legacy brokers, Schwab, Fidelity, you name them. If they are legacy broker, they have it. And then, like she asked, how can you get your money back? You could start to tell your bank, you can do it yourself and go in to your Schwab account, your Fidelity account, and say, every month, I want you to deposit $7,500 back into my checking account because it's linked. And every month you tell it what day of the week and it will reverse the deposit. Now, some people they used to teach that you need to have 25 years worth of money after you retire after a certain age, because that was the lifetime expectancy past retirement. No one knows. You can live to be 114 years, all right? But if you're making 10%, right, annually over a long period of time, and let's say you're taking out 7% annually, then you will always have, let's say you're taking out 5. Some people say 4, some people say 5, some people say 7, all right? Long as you're taking out less than what your annual return is, you're never touching the principal. And I beg of you, all of you, you should not have an account without a beneficiary. And that beneficiary needs to be the person you trust to do with it what they tell you to, and not the one you love the most, right? So that's one of the things we got to get right. I know this one is long, but I had a lot to say, and I wanted to show you guys all of this, okay? And I'm sorry I'm not going to cut out the things that I went over again, all right? So listen, good people, I know this was long, but this one had so many gems in it. So again, Money Moves, a lot of you are joining. We are learning and earning. I am teaching options in a way that every single person can understand it. You, and you. And what's going to happen? You know, I want to be in the market by May Day, which is May 1st, I believe, this year. And so my theory is talk to me like I'm 3. You haven't been able to understand it. You will with Stock Up You. I'm making it plain. Again, if you are experienced options trader, this is not for you. But if you don't know anything at all about options trading, or you've been struggling, then this is for you. I'm going to take my time and we're going to do it right. All right, good people. Have a blessed day. I may see you tonight. Live, love, laugh, and learn.